Man, the week's ending.
Thirsty Thursday, baby.
Time to drink.
Just had a tea of the twisted variety. Not a sponsor.
No. But that raspberry one. Very refreshing.
I had a peach.
I appreciate. Recent news in sports. We're doing the sports one today, man. I just feeling it. It feels good. We need to get some
I do like sports. Deportes for our friends below the border.
We'll start off with your favorite, your boy, Mr. Shohei Ohtani. Tell me you heard, and I'm pretty sure you did, about the fan that caught the first home run.
I actually don't know this story.
You really don't know? Wow, I know something about Ohtani that you don't?
Due to my profession, I was in a very busy time of the year that I cannot elaborate on because it's G14 classified.
Take your guesses, people.
I can neither confirm nor deny any details without the secretary's approval.
Anyways, since you're out of the game on this one, Shohei Ohtani had his first home run as a Dodger.
Yeah.
And a fan caught the ball. Pretty standard thing, famous person, new team, catches the ball.
Yeah.
You expect there to be some good leeway.
Sure.
The fan that catches the ball automatically gets separate. It was her and her husband. Automatically gets separated from the security guards kind of just court her to the special area for where they're
interesting
because they know she got the ball.
Yeah,
which was very strange to me, and we'll come back to that. So they take her off to where to talk her into the ball. It's a home run ball. It's gonna be famous, and they finesse the fuck out of her. They give her a signed bat and some other it's not even worth mentioning. Let's put it that way. It was crap. You know how much that ball could potentially be worth.
Yeah, I mean, if Ohtani does live up to the hype in Los Angeles, if they win championships, let's be honest, if that was the ball that LeBron had his first dunk with,
right.
It would be worth a lot of money.
In similar fashion, you would think. So you let's give a guesstimate that it goes over the six figures. Let's just put a nice round $100,000.
Yeah, I mean, Judge's record-breaking home run ball was $2 million?
Something like that, yeah.
So, definitely at least six figures.
So, pretty standard, pretty worthy amount.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she gets finessed for a fucking bat, a potential meet and greet, which she didn't even get until later on. And I think a signed baseball or hats or something. I don't know what else. But it was just this little mediocre package. And this is coming off of the betting scandal from allegedly Ohtani's interpreter.
True.
We'll leave it at that because we won't even get into those. That's a big web. And so they get a bunch of slack on social media. They're
Dodgers organization.
Yes, they're slamming the team. They're going off this betting thing. Now this lady gets finessed, and come to find out that they said that Ohtani met with them. They didn't meet with them. Actually, met with them later on. She's fine about it now, but let's talk about it.
Okay, let's start with the separation.
The separation. That was the big one for me. Yep. If you are with your person, your partner, it could be your brother, it could be who doesn't give a fuck. It's you two at a ball game, and you catch that ball. There's no way in hell. Let's say me and you were at the game. I'd be like, he's coming with me, or I'm not going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plain and simple. Especially when it's your husband, your significant other. It's these people. You don't just. Who's gonna take your wife away? You're just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, that's a little strange. I mean, I get that they're doing it probably for a protection standpoint, but you do have to wonder if they're we isolate this lady, we take advantage of her really, because with no husband there to necessarily be honey, this ball is worth a lot. She might say yes to the first offer, not realizing.
Little info, she's not the biggest fan of baseball in general.
Exactly.
So on top of that, perfect thing. It brings me to the same concept of lady goes to get an oil change, they take advantage or charge her extra stuff. A man goes to get an oil change, he knows what in that same inference.
They charge her for blinker fluid.
Yeah, some dumbass shit like that. So, I thought it was weird from the man that he didn't you ain't just taking my wife.
Yeah.
Second of all, I thought it was more weird from the wife or girlfriend or whatever, because why would she just? I understand there's emotion, but why would she just walk away? Well, that kind of, I don't know.
what's possible is that you catch Shohei's first homer, and whether or not she realizes the significance of that or not, she might just be so overwhelmed with the attention that she's not thinking straight.
I mean, I get that, but put yourself in a position with your person out in public, and someone's like, "Hey, you won! Come here." What's the first thing your partner would do?
I agree. It's sus.
Yeah. I feel like any person I'd be dating would be like, "Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Come with me. Like, you're going. I'm not going unless he's going," type shit.
Yeah.
Because why would it just doesn't that one that whole just that little part does not make sense to me.
She could just be super ignorant.
Even if she was, this man brought you to the game, and you're just like, I'm out. Unless that person was nobody, and you're like, oh, cool, bye.
It could be.
Then I get that.
It could be a green card marriage. Maybe
Green
no
like this
love
over here and
lost.
shit.
The card is green.
Okay, so that's the first. That was already a first red flag.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah.
Someone should have fought. Be like, no, you ain't taking me nowhere until I get my husband here, or the husband like, no, I'm going with my wife, and now we fighting. That's first part. Second part, they get the fucking crappy deal. Whatever it was like a bat. It was like I think some balls, a hat, whatever. Mediocre package, something that it probably worth like $500,000. You know, like some maybe even a little more, but
it's hard to put a price.
But
on that.
It's just something they just hand to you. You know.
Yeah.
Knowing well that she is in this emotional state of joy and bliss and whatever for her catching the ball.
Yeah.
They oh yeah here you take this and we're gonna take the ball, like kind of do this a really quick bait and switch type thing on her. What does that say about the Dodgers organization?
Well, I mean, the unfortunate thing is that number one, this isn't like the first time the Dodgers organization has been called into question. I'm sure you can remember sometime in the last 6 months to 12 months that they were really under fire from the LGBTQ community over the Pride Night shenanigans. Canceling of Pride Night over some extremist religious group getting mad, and then they brought back Pride Night. It was a really messy thing. So it's not the first time we've had the Dodger organization's
dropping the ball
in question.
Yeah, no, so that it's just a bad look, even as a big organization. I just can't see how the value of this. Everyone else, almost everybody else in that stadium knows the value of that ball. You would think you'd give her a fair shake.
Yeah, it kind of gives you some sort of like
slimy
corporate culture.
They're slimy,
right? The kind of culture where it's like we swindle the client into paying extra for this, or like, can you believe this, boss? I got the home run ball back for a bat.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's like, you're the man. Here's a raise. You know what I mean? He does give hints to a slimy corporate culture to me.
It's just like, and that was planned. That's a policy that they have, and that's what they're going to do because they did it with efficiency. I give them that credit. They did their job the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
The other part of this comes to the law standpoint of this. How do you feel? And let's put a position for it.
Sure. You
are in an emotional state. Something either really good or really bad happened, but you're not thinking clearly. You're not doing, just full thought process on situations because everything's like quick, bang, bang, and then Is there some justification in the law that you would think, this is all opinion, we don't know, that a good lawyer could sue the Dodgers for making her make a decision under duress?
I think it's very possible. I'm not a lawyer. The only bar I've passed,
here we go,
is every Friday night getting my drink on. Heyo!
So it's not Friday yet, but
I've seen several movies where Matthew McConaughey plays a lawyer.
There you go.
And if you can plead insanity after murdering someone in cold blood, you have to think there's some sort of basis where my client was not in the right frame of mind,
or didn't understand the value,
and therefore there's no legitimacy to handing over that baseball for so little value.
Right. The return on investment is not there, so I personally can see how a good lawyer could bring it to the judge. And I don't know what law it would be in particular, what you would state to kind of make it stick. Sure. Like maybe under duress is the wrong term. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I'm just saying that because I know that under duress is usually in a bad emotional state, but I'm sure they can turn it be like it's just an emotional state overall.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you would think they, it comes up with like, hey, come on, judge. We know this ball's worth
Yeah.
They did a 20x for a 1x. Come on now.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like a swindle. Now, the one thing I have to say,
Here we go.
You cannot put a price on a meeting with Shohei Ohtani. It's not like you can, like there's baseball players out there, right? Like guys who aren't quite at the top of the game like Shohei, but guys who, if you said, hey, give you $100K if you like do a meet and greet with me, that they would take the money. But Shohei's not at that level. He has more money than he knows what to do with. So at some level, I kind of understand taking the deal. Because I would love to meet him, but there's got to be more incentives than a signed bat to come with it.
Just overall, there should be a little more ethical prowess there from the Dodgers organization.
True.
They're your fans, whether they may or may be mediocre fans or great fans. Like they're still your fans. They came to support you. They bought a ticket. They were there. I'm sure those tickets were expensive. And you're over here just gonna take advantage of your fan base. Like, come on, man. You guys are already ripping us off for hot dogs and fucking sodas and beers for $20.
Dodger dog. Though.
How much is a fucking dog? I've never been to the Dodger Stadium. I hate
the
Dodgers. So, I'll get hate for it. Whatever. But
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad on the organization. Bad on the girl. Bad on the guy. I think overall she was happy because she got to meet Ohtani and like she got to hang out and it was like her birthday.
It's once in a lifetime.
So I'm like, I kind of get it, but real.
Yeah, but the more I think about it, it's kind of like, although meeting Ohtani is priceless, when you compare that to the opportunity cost, economics class, I hope you went to college and took your general education units. Opportunity cost, right? Like, at the cost of meeting Ohtani, you missed out on this.
Yeah.
And if that value is $100,000, that's life-changing money. Am I really going to meet Ohtani at the expense of, like, $200,000? I don't think so.
Obviously everything is circumstantial depending on where everyone's at in life. Like they could be in a hole and they could be very well off, and meeting Ohtani would be the better option because they have enough income or enough savings.
Yeah.
But maybe they're in a spot where they need to pay off some debt, pay off their car, and pay off their house, and that's going to be life-changing money for them.
Pay off the mob.
100.
Let's keep your business afloat.
Hey, don't talk about the Trailblazers.
Can't have any windows broken.
Was it Toronto? Did you hear about that guy from Toronto, the Toronto basketball player that was like...
The guy that was a gambler? And
yeah, fucking moron. Let's not get into that one. There's been a lot of gambling stories lately.
You gotta know and don't. Alright. Moving on.
Yes, sir. We're keeping it with the sports. What you got for me?
Well, you were just talking about a girl getting taken advantage of. Let's talk about another girl put in an awkward position. Ed.
Hey.
PG. Not that kind of awkward position. I'm talking about...
It's a family-friendly show. To some degree. Not really. We just have to say that.
I'm talking about Caitlin Clark.
The Clarkster.
The now drafted by the Indiana Fever.
Correct. I think that's, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, number 1 draft pick from the WNBA draft. The biggest college basketball player of all time.
The top leading scorer, right? Like, yeah, of all time? That's what it is?
Of all time.
Wow.
And, when you think about big-time players doing their first press conference with the team, right? Like, usually trying on a jersey, answering a few questions. It's a big deal. Like Ohtani trying on that Dodger jersey, for example. In this case, it was kind of soured by a local sports writer known for all of his work in the greater Indiana, sports scene. Caitlin Clark. In this interview, Greg Doyle is a sports writer locally known in Indiana for Pacers coverage and other sports teams.
Okay.
Doesn't really set a good tone.
How so?
So, for starters, throughout the interview, he's referring to her like an object. He's talking to the coach.
What? Women are objects?
Classic machismo move, right?
Okay.
So he's talking to the coach about, you've been handed the keys to that. What are you going to do with it? A little weird, but like maybe he's making her sound like a nice sports car, right?
Still passable,
a fine oiled machine.
Right.
We could maybe let that pass. A little weird, but we can maybe let that pass.
I'm the machine.
I am here to fuck cats.
Well, schooling with Bert, guy, sure.
Put a link to that or something. Where it gets weird is that he throws her a heart.
But she throws hard. That's like her thing,
Because
right?
she's known for throwing hearts to her family.
Oh, gotcha.
So she kind of humors him, throws him a heart, and, she says something like, "Did you like that?" And he makes this weird comment about, like...
She said it to him?
Yeah, like, "Did you like that?" And he makes this comment back about, like, "Yeah, you keep doing that, I'm going to be happy. Or you're going to keep me happy."
Cringe.
It's cringe. But it's also super ignorant. Like...
I mean, he sounded ignorant from the start, calling her an object instead of saying her or some, whatever her pronouns are. I'm sure they're easily searchable.
Mm-hmm. You got to do your due diligence as a journalist.
As a journalist, that's what I'm saying. I mean, for me, just call her Caitlin. Caitlin, right?
Yeah,
Caitlin.
But read the room, right? This is the WNBA we're talking about. Arguably, maybe the biggest chip in their shoulder in sports. Yep. Due to always being in the shadow of the older brother, right? The NBA.
That is forever.
And so for him to just not really be so tone deaf.
Yeah. That's the perfect term for it.
It is kind of shocking. And it reminds me when Grant Napier of the Sacramento Kings dropped an "All Lives Matter" in the middle of the George Floyd riot at times, right?
I don't
immediately fired from the Sacramento Kings for that.
I don't get people.
And it's just like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Why are we so tone deaf?
Like, have they not been in this industry long enough to understand that there's a certain way to come about things?
Maybe they're just so focused in the stats and the...
I don't know what it is. But still, like, in any profession, there are unwritten rules. There are ways of going about things.
Mm-hmm.
And objectifying women, whether he was or was not, we're not saying he did. It just sounded like it by calling her an it or a thing or making her seem like it's just the coach's like plaything to like just hey, you run, you go, whatever.
All right, well, I think that's it for today. You have any last thoughts?
Let's see. No. I wanted to talk about sports, but no, I think I'm good. That's enough for that. No.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging with 2TL.
Later, guys.